So yeah, it's great to be back. What I wanted to do this evening, I wanted to do a live about a topic which many of you may be struggling with, which is how to attract customers. It's the lifeblood, isn't it, of all business, because if we don't have customers, we don't actually have a business. That's the bottom line. And that can be sometimes very painful to admit, but it's absolutely true. You can have the prettiest websites and you can have thousands of likes and followers, and you can spend hours and hours on social media writing blogs and posts and everything. But the bottom line is, if you haven't got sales and you haven't got customers, then your business is going to fail. And more importantly and more painfully, you could end up with a business that you are funding yourself. And that becomes a very expensive hobby, which is not great. It's not great because you have all the vanity stuff. You all have the infrastructure and the products and services, and people are saying, oh, wow, it's so great. And you actually know the truth behind the scenes, which is you ain't making much cash. So I wanted tonight to talk about the true cost of low customer connection. Because you see, that's what's really going on here, is if you are not connected to your customers at an emotional level, then you're going to have a real hard slog, because this is really the old style of marketing. Was that hustle, more of a patriarchal model of business, which was that kind of push, sleazy, hustle for it, or the reverse of that, which is you just sit there and you kind of wait. And that's kind of hope marketing. And hope marketing is a little bit like SEO for certain businesses. Certain businesses go, oh, that's it, I need SEO, I need Google. And the truth is about that is if you haven't got a business which attracts customers constantly, in fact, your customer base, the ideal fit for SEO, by the way, is if your customer base is on Google typing in what they're looking for, then it's a good place to be on Google and to do your SEO. If they're not, then you're possibly wasting your time and your effort and your money. So it's about kind of proactively going after your customers, but in a way which is more of a feminine style of marketing and sales, which is fantastic. And we're coming more and more into that, thank goodness, which is an attraction-based marketing model, which means that you don't just sit back and kind of navel gaze and go, oh, I'm going to hope that customers are going to come to me or that people are going to refer people to me. You basically put yourself in front of people and give them the choice of clicking through, finding out more about you, and buying from you. That's the bottom line. But let's just talk about customer connection for a moment and what I'm talking about here. So basically, there's been some research done which states that 95% of buying decisions are made in the subconscious mind. So what do I mean by that? So conscious mind is that part of your brain that makes those conscious decisions. Hi, Lisa. Makes those conscious decisions about buying. Your subconscious mind is the bit that drives you on autopilot. It's a childlike part of your brain. In fact, probably 95% of your decisions are made from your subconscious mind, and your rational kind of conscious mind makes up a very, very small percentage. I mean, it's been likened to maybe an iceberg. So your conscious mind is above the ice, and the subconscious is that massive kind of rock underneath or ice underneath the sea. So yeah, 95% of customers make decisions based on emotion, and that comes from, hi Lisa, that comes from the subconscious mind. So it doesn't make any sense, does it, if you sit there with a piece of paper and a pen and you come from your logical brain and you try to figure out who your customers are and where they are and why they would buy from you. And that's why I believe that the old style of targeting for customers is completely dead in the water, because that was actually invented before, way back, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. In fact, it was invented, demographic research. You might have heard of demographics. That's where you kind of look at the age of somebody and the sex of somebody and where they live. And apparently that was created way before even the telephone was invented. So you can see that when the advent of the internet came about, that everything changed. Everything changed in marketing. And the biggest change was how we target customers, because no longer was it a case of just that very kind of simple black and white paper-based exercise, which is, oh, my customer's male or female, they're this age and they live here. It went to another level, and customers became very, very savvy about buying decisions. And so if we couple that with the fact that we know that 95% of buying decisions are made from a subconscious level anyway, an emotional state, sitting down and actually just kind of writing out that your target audience is male, female, this age, that's where they're located, and kind of this is why you'd buy your stuff, is really fatally flawed. And that is the reason why I believe a lot of businesses fail, is because they don't start with this really important keystone, this really important connection block, which everything else in your marketing bounces off. Because if you know your customers well enough, you'll know exactly where they will be and the trigger points for them buying from you. And, you know, would they be seen at this location or that location? And you can then map and plan your products to them as well. Any challenges you have in your marketing comes from actually a mismatch between your customers and where they are and what they want to buy. And so if you are having challenges in your marketing at the moment, what I want you to do is I want you to really seriously look at your customers and what do they truly, truly want and need. Now, for some of you, you might not even know what they want and need. And that sounds crazy, but so many businesses, you know, I hold my hand up. When I started out in business, did I really know what my customers wanted? No, I just took a sort of a punt at it. You know, and this is going back like 20, 22, 23 years ago now. And then I very quickly learned that actually it wasn't about me or what I wanted to produce. It was very much about meeting the demands of my customers and what they wanted. And you know, I think that's the mistake that so many business owners make, is they do everything that they want to do, and they then have to try and find people that will like what they want to do, rather than think about the market and say, okay, so these particular people will want this particular product. So customer connection is really, really important at an emotional level. Now, if we're working with the subconscious mind, which I mentioned, so 95% of buying decisions are made by the subconscious mind. That's that bit that runs on kind of automatic. It's there in the background, and that's where all our beliefs sit and our values sit and everything. That's the emotional bit. Some of you might be thinking, well, no, of course, you know, buying decisions have got to be logical, whatever. But if you've ever, you know, there's that female group. So, I mean, most of us, I suppose we've got handbags and shoes, and that's not sexist. It's just, we love handbags and shoes and stuff like that. So have you ever been into a shop or online or something, and you have seen the most amazing kind of pair of shoes or handbag or swimming costume or top or whatever it is, but you've seen it, and that instant moment where you see it, you go, oh yeah, I'd like that, oh yeah. And then you then click into kind of a logical part of your brain, which is like, oh, you know, will that go? And sometimes we don't even click that much into logical. We go, so if I bought that pair of shoes, would they go with that outfit? I wonder. And of course I could get a lot of use out of it. So we do click into kind of logical there, but that first instinct is an emotional response. So how do you step into the emotional response of your customers? Well, you've got to go there first. And this is where we have to use our imaginations, or get into our subconscious mind. Now, the technique that I developed, the persona marketing method that I use with all my beautiful clients, I don't know if they know, Lisa, hi Lisa, I don't know if you know this, Lisa, but I was actually tapping into your subconscious mind. So she's like, the bottom line is the persona marketing method. What I do is, working with the clients, is that I relax them to the state where we do a visualization, a very powerful visualization exercise, where they can tap into the psyches of their ideal customers, so that they understand at an emotional and a vibrational level, because we all vibrate, everything vibrates in the universe, basic physics, that one is. If you can vibrate at the same level as your ideal customers, then you're going to attract them. So if you have a misalignment, again, it's about the fact that perhaps you're not vibrating at the level that you need to attract these ideal customers. So the quickest way we can do this is to get you to go there first. So that's actually getting you into a very relaxed state. Yep, I've not been the same since, she says. Yeah, whatever. It's all in a good way. It's all in a good way. No, the point is that if you can go there first, the flight of imagination, and I think I've mentioned this before, is this is a great book. And if you haven't read it yet, you really need to read this book because it is mind-blowing, especially if you like the law of attraction. This is the granddaddy of all the law of attraction books. It's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And in that book, towards the end, he talks about the mastermind. And what he actually says is that a lot of the very successful people of the time, when he did this research in the 1920s, they used the mastermind technique, which was that they took a flight of fancy in their imaginations and they imagined a table in front of them with all the very successful people, inventors, creators, scientists, whatever. And if you can go there in your mind, he used to play with this technique so that he could even ask them questions and they would answer. And then, you know, sounds crazy. Yeah, it sounds crazy. But trust me on this, if you can actually in your mind's eye go and step in the shoes of your customers, it's called customer journeying, actually. If you can take a day in the life of your ideal customer and walk in their shoes for a day, see through their eyes, listen through their ears, you will get huge insights into the trigger points for buying your product or service. Because all of our products and services, they have trigger points. It's not that somebody just wakes up in the morning and goes, I know, I'm going to buy this, whatever. Very rarely does that happen. What actually happens is there's going to be an incident or something, a trigger that will trigger them to go, I need that. And so it's finding out what those trigger points are from an emotional point of view as well for your customers, so that you entice them in a nice way. It's not sleazy, it's not salesy, but actually trigger that emotional response in your customers so that they go, wow, I need to purchase one of these. Now, the thing here, right, is that this part is the first part of a series of things that you need to have in place. So for instance, you can do all the great customer targeting in the world, but if you don't back it up with the correct marketing behind it, it's kind of almost as bad as the paper-based exercise, because you just sit there and you go, well, I've got all this lovely information now, but I really don't know how to use it, or I'm not going to use it. So everything has to be aligned from that point forward. And that's why this group is called Align for Success, because again, I believe that if you have pieces out of alignment in that series, of customer journey, what's going to happen is the link is going to break. And so it could be that, so let's talk this through. So the customer, they kind of, there's a trigger point, they're online. You are doing proactive marketing rather than reactive, sit on your butt and wait for people to come to you. You're doing that very proactive marketing where you've got your messaging and everything tied in, and lo and behold, they're on Facebook or Instagram or something like that, and lo and behold, your advert kind of pops up in front of them and they go, wow, okay, just this morning I was thinking of that. Wow, okay. And then they read your copy and it's talking directly to them. It's not about you. It's not about your product even. It's about the emotional response, the kind of describing how they would utilize your products or service. And then they get to the point where they go, wow, okay, so my goodness, are they inside my head? Have they been watching me? This is incredible. And they click through, and then you take them to some series of education. So that could be a landing page, it could be a video, it could be a webinar, it could be anything, but that center part of a sales funnel is all about education. And again, in that's totally aligned for the messaging and the communication of your ideal customer, because of course you've got into their subconscious mind. You understand why they would buy your product, the emotional leverage of the pain that they want to alleviate, because people will move faster away from pain than they do towards pleasure. So in that middle part, you're actually educating them to take action, and then they go, wow, okay. And by the way, that's never through a website. So it's not. Okay, so some of you are probably watching this and you go, why, Heather? Why isn't it ever through a website? I thought people sell through a website. It's rarely through a website. And I tell you why. It's because we have the attention span of a gnat, basically, nowadays. And we will go onto a website and we'll go, click. Oh my God, that's amazing. And then we'll go, oh, look at that tab there, click. Oh, they do that as well. Oh, right, okay. And they're clicking around. So the original thing that caught their interest, if you direct them straight to a website, they're going to go, oh, okay, right. Let me have a look at all of these things. And it's kind of like the worst case of ADHD in marketing, you can imagine. It's like you literally are tapping on every tab and like, oh, that's great. And then you know what happens? The phone goes, or they go, oh, I just need to check something else out, or the kids come in, or the cat needs feeding, or the dog starts barking, whatever. And what happens is they click off your website and they are lost forever. Now, here's the thing. If you just rely on your website to sell things, what actually happens to these beautiful customers who had been enticed in the first instance by what you were saying and doing, they are back on Facebook again, maybe an hour later, maybe a day later, and one of your competitors who has got it dialed in lands in front of them and they go, oh, wow, oh, it's not the same, but anyway, but oh my goodness. And then instead of being directed to a website where they're getting all these distractions, they land then on a sales page, and then it just funnels them through, and that's why it's called a sales funnel, funnels them through without distraction so that they take action. Okay, and if they don't take action, they've got a very, very clever tool, which means that they capture the information of the person and they retarget them. So if they don't buy right now, which 47% of the market is estimated they don't buy in that moment, you can then retarget them and you are in front of mind. So that means that you are their first choice and not the competitor that springs up on Facebook. So customer connection is really, really important. So I want to ask you, how well do you think you really know your customers? Because believe me, if you have just sat down with a piece of paper and a pen, or not even that, and just gone, oh, of course I know my customers. They want to buy widgets because widgets are, you know, of course I know who they are. They're female and they're kind of 35, and I kind of think they live there, and this is how they use my product. Yeah, this is how they use my product. The thing is that that's not good enough. That's really not good enough nowadays, because even when you come to advertising, it's not the targeting, folks, that you need. It's actually the communication behind the targeting, because you can have the best targeting in terms of like demographic targeting, in terms of, you know, their you know, male or female, their age, where they're located, all of that. But it's what comes after that, drilling down, and also in terms of your advertising copy, the photographs you use, the landing pages you put together, the products, your pricing, and the data capture at the end, and of course all of that information that goes out to them in terms of email marketing to stay front of mind of them. So can you see it's not as just simple as just doing one thing and yay, I know my customers. It's actually putting that into practice in terms of locating them and communicating with them in a very effective way. So I know we got some people on here. Hi Shan, how you doing? Hi Laura, hi Haley, hi Lisa. I missed you all. At 8 o'clock to speak to all these wonderful women. Anybody got any questions about this while I'm on here? I know we've got about nine people or so on here at the moment live, but if you've got any questions, please pop them in the feed about customer targeting, anything. Yeah, sorry I was away for 2 weeks. I'm allowed to be away for 2 weeks, so I hope you don't mind the fact that there were just like standard videos put in this group for a couple of weeks. Now I'm back, so every week I'll be jumping on live on a Thursday evening. If you have any questions, this is your opportunity to ask me. So please sort of pop any questions you've got. Yes, it's Laura. Yeah. If you've got any questions at all, pop them in there. But I think the one thing I wanted to drill home tonight to everybody is, if you are spending hours on social media, posting kind of every day, getting loads of likes but no sales, if you are trying to get customers and you're doing all that traditional marketing like that leaflet drops, the networking, the events, the SEO, you've even done a little bit of Facebook advertising, but that's been hit and miss, and you've probably lost your money on that one as well. If it feels like you've changed your website 1,000 times and you still feel frustrated, and maybe you've put your prices, maybe you've lowered your prices, which is kind of like, that's kind of one of the, that's painful. When you know that you have a product that is worth the amount of money and you feel pressurized into lowering your prices, because that's that scarcity and panic thing. All of these are symptoms. They're not the main problem. The main problem is that you don't know who your target audience is. Once you actually get that right, and when you nail that, when you get that absolutely right, and as I said, it's not a paper-based exercise. This is not about getting an avatar, pretty avatar, you know, printing off a picture of Mary, and Mary is this and Mary is that. No, Mary's still a piece of paper, and it's not going to cut it. It really isn't going to cut it. So you've got to dive a lot deeper. So this is about treading in the shoes of your ideal customers. Now, if you've got more than one product, you're going to have more than one customer type, trust me. So again, it's not as simple as just going, oh yeah, I know all my customers are like female, 35, blah, blah, blah. No, because if you've got more than one product, you've probably got different audiences as well. And so again, it's about doing this exercise every single time you are launching a new product, a new service, a new program, whatever it is. You will have a different target audience that you really need to get into, not just the heads of, but the emotions of. Because when you connect with people at a heart level, that's when the connection happens. The connection never happens in the head. It's always with the heart. It's, wow, look at that beautiful pair of shoes, or look at that handbag, or look at that car, look at that house. Yeah. It's always at an emotional level. Any of you who've ever bought your own property, you know what I'm saying here. You didn't walk into the house and go, oh yes, it's very, very nice. It's got 3 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms. It's detached. It's got a garage. It's got it's, what made you buy that house was the fact that when you walked through the door, you fell in love with it. There was something that just resonated with you and you just went, I could see myself living here. And then you go, oh, it's practical because it's got 3 bedrooms. Now, some of you are going, yeah, no, hang on, Heather. When we were looking for houses, we had a 3-bedroom kind of detached. We knew exactly what we were looking for. And yeah, that's like saying, I want a pair of shoes and I need them to have a heel that's so high. That's the kind of the functionality of something. That's the framework of it. Almost like if you were painting a picture, that's the sketch that you make before you fill in the colors, right? The emotion bit comes in with that bit where you're coloring in the colors and making it feel really great. That's the bit that I'm talking about that so many people are missing in their marketing. So, okay, so my invitation to you is, if you are struggling to really identify who your ideal customers are, if you're struggling, you're spending, as I said, hours on blooming Facebook, getting nowhere, if you've tried every marketing technique under the sun, if you just banging your head against a brick wall now going, I don't know what I'm missing here. What you're probably missing is the customer targeting, but I don't know. So, because I don't know you and I don't know your business. But what I'm going to do is, the invitation, as always here in this group, is we have the complimentary 45-minute plus, because sometimes these run into a couple of hours because we stay on the phone with the people that we speak to until we actually get clarity on the situation. And sometimes it's not as clear as just going, oh, this isn't working or is that working. We do a real deep dive on your business with you. So please take us up on the offer. It's a complimentary call. It's not for everyone, okay? You've got to be damn serious about your business. This is not for dabblers. This is not for people who are just, oh, you know, I'm just like playing a little bit and my hubby's working and, oh, you know, I've got this nest egg that I'm relying on. And no, this is for you if you have a business and you want to grow it, you want to take it to the next level, you're fed up of playing small. If that's you, please reach out and book a call with us. So I'm going to put the thing in here now. So, here we go. So we have, hi Kate, by the way, yay. There we go. I've got the URL there, heathergifford.com/apply. Jump on a strategy call with us. We'll take a look at your business. In all seriousness, there's no pressure. It's not salesy. It's not sleazy. We are there to serve you to the truth of what is really going on in your business. Now, sometimes we don't want to hear the truth. So it might not be for you if you can't handle, there's that quote, isn't there, a film, and I can't remember, but if you can't handle the truth, jump on a call with us. Come on. I've been in business 22, 23 years now. And I can often see things that people haven't been able to see because you're too close to it. And so on these strategy calls, what we do, as I said, we take a dive into your business and really look at what's going on. And you know, if we can help you, we'll absolutely tell you and show you how. If not, we will certainly recommend other resources that will help you get to the outcome you're looking for. So please take us up on the offer. Places are limited. In fact, we've got 20 calls in the diary over the next sort of week to 10 days. So the diary, we're pushing it out a little bit more. So there'll be some more slots available. But, you know, jump on a call with us, and it'd be a pleasure to talk to you about your business and hear what's really going on for you, see if we can help you.